Good morning, class. Today we're going to learn about Charlemagne. So if we start up at the top of this reading, Charlemagne, also known as Karl and Charles the Great, was a medieval emperor who ruled much of Western Europe from 768 CE to 814 CE. In 771 CE, Charlemagne became king of the Franks, a Germanic tribe in present-day Belgium, France, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Western Germany. He embarked on a mission to unite all Germanic people into one kingdom and convert his subjects to Christianity. Directions: watch this video to learn more about Charlemagne. Then read the text and answer the questions that follow in complete sentences. So open up this video, bring you to a YouTube link, just a quick little introduction. If you have an ad pop up, obviously skip the ad.
I was crying.
This is an
My
ad.
daughter come to me and ask, "Mommy, why are you crying?"
So skip the ad. You're going to watch this biography. When you're done watching the biography, pause this, watch your biography. When you're done, you can resume my video. Okay, so at this point, you should have been done with your video, and we're going to go back to our reading. Charlemagne expands his kingdom. When Charlemagne first came to power, his goals were to unite all the Germanic people into one kingdom and convert his subjects to Christianity. In order to carry out this mission, he spent the majority of his reign, his time as leader, engaged in military campaigns. Soon after becoming king, he conquered the Lombards in present-day northern Italy, the Avars in modern-day Austria and Hungary, and Bavaria, among others, right? So he's going around, he's taking over places, he's trying to kind of reunite Western Europe. Charlemagne he started a bloody 30-year-long series of battles against the Saxons, a Germanic tribe of pagan worshippers, and earned a reputation for ruthlessness. So pagan worshippers means they worshipped, many gods. They were not Christian. They were not monotheistic. In 782 CE, at the massacre of Verdun, Charlemagne reportedly ordered the killing of about 4,500 Saxons. He eventually forced the Saxons to convert to Christianity and declared that anyone who didn't get baptized or follow other Christian traditions be put to death. So number one is factual. What were Charlemagne's two goals for his kingdom? So why don't you look back in that first paragraph and think about his goals. So it'll say his goals were to blank and blank. So pause, get your answer in for number one. Okay, Charlemagne as emperor. And we're going to be looking for, if we look ahead to number two, what were some of his achievements? In his role as a passionate defender of Christianity, Charlemagne gave money and land to the Catholic Church and protected the popes. As a way to acknowledge Charlemagne's power and reinforce his relationship with the Church, Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne Emperor of the Romans on December 25, 800 CE, at St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. As emperor, Charlemagne proved to be a talented diplomat and able administrator of the large area he controlled. He promoted education and encouraged the Carolingian Renaissance, a period of renewed emphasis on scholarship and culture. He started economic and religious reforms and was a driving force behind the Carolingian minuscule, a standardized form of writing that would later become a basis for modern European printed alphabets, right? So he's using one form of writing. Charlemagne ruled from a number of cities and palaces, but spent significant time in Aachen. His palace there included a school for which he recruited the best teachers in the land. So number two, what were some of Charlemagne's achievements? So thinking about what kind of reforms did he make? What did he help to kind of further in his empire? So pause to answer number two. Okay, Charlemagne's death and succession. So that means who came after him. In 813 CE, Charlemagne crowned his son, Louis the Pious, king of Aquitaine, as co-emperor. Louis became sole emperor when Charlemagne died in January of 814 CE, ending his reign, again, his time as ruler, of more than 40 years. At the time of his death, his empire encompassed much of Western Europe. Charlemagne was buried at the cathedral. In the decades that followed, his empire was divided up among his heirs, and by the late 800 CE, it had broken apart and ended. Right? So this empire that he was trying to reunite Western Europe, it doesn't really work, right? Eventually, after his death, it breaks back apart. Nevertheless, Charlemagne became a legendary figure endowed with mythical qualities. In 1165 CE, under Emperor Frederick Barbarossa, Charlemagne was canonized. He was made a saint for political reasons, right? So he became Saint Charlemagne to the Catholic Church. However, the church today does not recognize his sainthood, so he is no longer a saint. So number 3, conceptual. Why do you think the church no longer recognizes Charlemagne as a saint? Use the whole reading to think about this. So thinking about, what did he do, especially back kind of this second paragraph back here, it might help you think about why would the church say, hey, you know what, we're not going to call him a saint. So take a minute, pause to answer number 3, and then we'll go to the next part here. Okay, directions. Look at the list below showing some of Charlemagne's achievements. Organize them into the following categories. So you're going to decide if this was a military achievement, and you could just write M. A cultural achievement, you could write a C. Or a religious achievement, you could just write a R. So number 1, he expanded his kingdom by defeating many different tribes. That would be a military achievement, so you could write a M. He was crowned emperor by the Pope in December 800 CE. So thinking about the Pope is crowning him emperor. So think about what would that be, military, culture, or religious? So why don't you put in what you think? He protected Christian lands from attack by Muslim and Slav invaders. So think about would that be military, cultural, or religious? And really focus on this Christian land part more than the invasion. He spread Christianity to new areas. Think about what that would be. A magnificent palace was built for Charlemagne at Aix-la-Chapelle. It's a French name. So a palace, so architecture, art and architecture, thinking about what does that fall under, military, culture, or religion. He set up a famous school at Aachen and encouraged the spread of writing. Think about would that be military, culture, or religious. Okay, so make sure you have all of those in. And I would really say he was crowned emperor. If we want to go over the answers, that should be an R. He protected Christian lands from attack. That could really be an R/M, right? Because they're Christian lands, but he's also using his military to protect them. He spread Christianity to new areas. That would definitely be religious. A magnificent palace, that would be culture. And same with education and writing would be culture. Okay, so let's make sure we have the same answers. And again, if you put R or M, just add it so it's both for number 3. Okay, so make sure you have those in. And we're going to go to the next part. I'm just going to delete those for the next people. Okay, so if we look here, it also shows us part of Charlemagne's empire. So far we have looked at Charlemagne's successes, right? So what we just did was his successes. Look at the statements below that challenge the idea that Charlemagne was in fact great. Then find some evidence to support them. So you're looking at the statements in table 1 and matching them to a piece of evidence from table 2, right? So think of these like a claim. Charlemagne was not always successful in battle. Charlemagne acted cruelly at times. Charlemagne did not manage to solve all of the country's problems. Okay, and then you're going to match it to the evidence. And we did the first one for you. So if we look at evidence A, I'm just going to make these match. The Basques destroyed a large part of his army in 778 CE. That would support statement 1. He was not always successful in battle. So B, at the end of the 8th century CE, many areas of the country were still empty and covered in forest. So thinking about which statement does that support? Not successful in battle, acting cruelly, or not solving all the country's problems. And we'll go over these at the end. In Saxony, those who refused to convert to Christianity were killed. So again, is that not successful in battle, acting cruel, or not solving the country's problems? And you can just put, 1, 2, or 3 over here. Charlemagne fought the Moors of Spain for 20 years, but only managed to capture a small area of land. Would that be not successful in battle, cruelly, or not solving the problems? Charlemagne wanted all boys to have an education, but at the end of his reign, so his time as emperor, only monks and priests had received schooling. So is that not successful in battle, acting cruelly, not solving problems? Charlemagne killed the Saxon chiefs. Again, thinking about which one that would be. So let's think about our answers here. At the end of the 8th century, many areas of the country were still empty and covered in forest. I would say that that's 3, right? He did not solve all the country's problems. Those who refused to convert to Christianity were killed. 2, right? He could be cruel. Charlemagne fought the Moors of Spain for 20 years, but only got a small area of land. That would be 1. He was not always successful, right? 20 years of battle and only got a little bit of land. That would not be a success. He wanted everyone to be educated, but only really the clergy, the monks and priests were. That would be 3, not solving the problem of a lack of education. Charlemagne killed the Saxon chiefs. That should be 2, that he acted cruelly at times. So make sure that yours match, and then you have finished the document. So when you're done with this, make sure you turn it in. And if you have any other questions, talk to your teacher during their extra help.